a lot of the problem is that we don't keep our purpose in front of us like a compass. So it's very easy for whatever's the loudest thing, or whoever's the most persuasive person in our life, or whatever is the thing our flesh is drawn to the most, to just kind of steer us in another way. And I think that's the secret to leaders who lead for the long haul. And as Eugene Peterson says, this is worth writing down. He says it's a long obedience in the same direction. You know, if you want to be a leader who makes a difference, you have to be willing to have a long obedience in the same direction. And some of those days or weeks or months or years are not fun. So that's why so many of our mentors recommend writing out your goals every day, look at your vision every day, don't skip a day, because it only takes a day to get off track. And so what I hope you walk away from this whole experience with is a rhythm and a discipline of not only being able to go, I'm healthy as a leader, but I also know the vision that God has for me, and I'm disciplined to keep that in front of me like a compass. That's and good. That'll keep me from being pulled off into some random direction here and there, because it's so easy to do, right? I network naturally and I love it. And I get in these situations where I'm in a meeting with people and somebody mentions a need, and I know somebody who has the answer to their need. And and then I like, there's two ways to handle that. There's like, I'm going to spend a lot of time creating a connection for you, or it's put the work on the other person. My tendency is to go, let me do this for you, because I want to feel the win and I love it, you know. And then sometimes I'll commit myself to something like, dang it, I just signed myself up to give away 45 minutes of time I don't have, you know. And so I've got to really watch that. And sometimes I just do that because I've always done it. But I'm in a season right now where I can't just do those things unless I want to give away my priorities. So my compass has to stay in front of me. This morning, I caught myself celebrating a win for myself. I caught myself right before doing this. And I was like, no, you know, you can't do that. But I'm going to tell you why I caught myself. I'm going to point you over to this board. Spent about 90 minutes yesterday morning going through my own personal process for visioning, not because we were going to do this today, but because I was sensing that drift pull and I needed to work this out. And we're going to look at one word that is going to be the most important word for you to stay on target. And believe it or not, it's not purpose. It's what enables you to stay fixated on your purpose. Way too often we're like, yeah, I'm going to start doing something about that. And at some point in time, you know, we don't put a deadline on things, and thus we allow ourselves the luxury of procrastination, and it fades. It gets, you know, eclipsed by something else, and now we've made no progress on it. You look back 6 months, 9 months, a year, it's like, oh yeah, I had that idea about writing that book, or I had that idea about starting that ministry, or I had that idea about, you know, doing this part of my life and improving it, or I had that idea about whatever. Here's the scary part. God's going to hold you accountable for that. The question of questions that I think we're all going to have to answer is, what did you do with what I gave you? I'm convinced the grace of Jesus is what gives you the opportunity to be with God forever. However, our rewards are up to us. Mm-hmm. And that's a big deal, because we're going to spend a lot more time on the other side of this life than in this life. Right. Your reasons are a lot more important than your answers. Like, what drives you is the thing that's going to get you up out of bed in the morning. You know, it's the thing. It's like, if your must is powerful enough, if it's hot and strong, then it's going to be easy to say no to the distractions. You know, it's going to be easy to say yes to the suffering, because like, no, I got the purpose. I got the reason. It's there. It's deep in my soul. Like, nothing can talk me out of doing my calling, the thing God put me on this planet for. Nothing can talk me out of that. What is one breakthrough that would create the biggest momentum in the area of your calling and of your future? You know, the thing you've been talking about, like, what is the thing you're focused on? What's the one breakthrough that would create the biggest momentum? What conversations need to happen? What systems need attention? What leaders need development? What ministry needs simplifying? I mean, like, what needs to happen to have a breakthrough in the next 90 days? And what are the 3 priorities that you'd need to focus on in order for those things to happen? So what are 3 priorities that you'd need to focus on in order for those things to happen? And here's a really, really powerful question, almost as powerful as your reason question, all right? I mean, it's kind of connected to it. What happens if you don't accomplish it? So it's the stakes, the motivation coin. It's your reason and it's the stakes. And I think this is so important and so powerful to think my reason needs to be strong and connected to eternity, like the kind of thing that will so fill my tank and accomplish God's will and help other people. And there's like the reason is so strong. And then the stakes are so high. If I don't do this, fast forward for a minute and live in that pain of what it would feel like if you don't take action right now. What we know is that humans are twice as motivated by the prospect of pain as the prospect of pleasure. It's more helpful for you to think about the negative consequences of not following God's call for your life than it is to dream about all the positives. So if you never take yourself in a fast forward place to think about what happens if you don't obey, you're missing some of the motivation that's going to keep you on course.